as one might expect.
Buddhist deceptions, the fall of all religions, the massive New Age psyops going on with this fluffy, stuffy, fucking fairies and rainbows spirituality, this softcore bullshit. Let's see what what Buddha has to say on the body. Buddha being the master of all wisdom. And then compare that to the Gnostics. This guy just found him. SQS. He's damn good.
From this, at the heart of Gnosticism is the revelation of a hidden escape route, a gnosis, jhana in Sanskrit, which, if perfected, will liberate us from our bondage to this world. That is an evil world that is the creation of a demiurgic god. And again, I went into that also with the atomism, how basically...
Let's just get this straight right here. This world, your goal is not to stay here and reincarnate. This is a demiurgic world. Look around you. We are in a prison, a prism where light is fractured, my friends. This is a place where few souls escape. Welcome to the Demiurge.
When we look for the creator or the creator's workers, you could say, I would call it a self-creation. We look for that in the atoms that constructed this world. Remember, the world is the effect, the atoms are the cause. So this, in essence, is no different than the Buddha's insistence that we distinguish prajna between psychophysical body and our true self, which is not psychophysical. Only then can we attain liberation or nirvana. So that's the practices I talked about. I just go into detail in those actually also in previous videos and older videos, how they distinguish between that, and they cultivate something called prajna, which has nothing to do with cultivating the ego or amplifying the ego self. So this psychophysical body, the Buddha goes on to explain in his discourses, belongs to none other than Mara, the evil one who is Buddhism's devil.
So let me get that straight. The body belongs to Mara, aka Buddha's devil.
But that's the key. This mind body that everybody's wanted to say, oh, I love yourself, love. But even Buddha says that, well, this body belongs to Mara, the evil one, which is like saying the devil. Clearly, he lets that be known, which a lot of people brush under the cover. All these, these popular Buddhists who write these books, they'll never tell you that because you can't sell books with that true. You're going to tell a middle-class householder.
This is so true. I can't even say these kinds of things on Reality Files because I get so much dislikes when I talk about the true nature of the body. Because everyone is on this new age kick of veganism, of like fucking whole foods and all of this bullshit, when Buddha and Jesus, they be out there fasting in the fucking desert. They bring their body to the very brink, the very edge, because they know that they must separate the matter from the spirit, the fire from the gross, right? The subtle from the gross. And through that, then you can identify and discern that which is true, that which is spirit, and that which is of the body, of the beast, right? You cannot serve two masters out here, my friends. And this is immortal truth. We keep this shit real talk on here. Go look at, see what the Gnostics have to say about the body, right? See what the true Buddhist texts have to say about the body. How about you go on a fast and do a fuck ton of breath work and just realize what you are sitting in, this carcass, the garments of darkness. Jesus talks about when you derobe yourself, right, and you step and trample your garments, you will enter the kingdom. Hermes Trismegistus, the whole entire Corpus Hermeticum is simply about derobing, is literally about like escaping the chains of darkness or the fetters that bind thee. Same with the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth are all about the fetters of darkness and the chains to this carcass. Every single ancient text, if you have half a fucking wit, you can make these connections. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Brothers and sisters, be on a real talk out here.
That they're the devil. That's not going to go over well. So they hide this truth, but this guy actually likes to bring it out. He writes a lot of articles about this stuff too. So he goes on to say both Buddhism and Gnosticism, and he's pointing out, draw a sharp distinction between inner perception of gnosis, jhana, prajna, and sensory perception, by means of which we reinforce our connection with the false world of the demiurgic God.
Hermes talks about this too, on the sense versus understanding.
Whose hand, the Buddha says, is so rarely spread to bless. So all the senses, like I mentioned in the previous video about self-delusion, self-creation, delusion, the senses, like I said, the senses are evil. They keep you in, well, they keep this world propagating.
To reach nirvana, apparently, or I know this from my own experience and all the ancient texts I've read, is when you must be able to transmute the five physical senses. When you get deep into energy work and it's getting so uncomfortable and it's getting so fucking crazy and things are like literally coming out of you and things are mutating and shifting, all like the entire energetic body is coming to life. You are breathing life back into an icicle, something that was completely dark. When this happens, any connection to a physical sense will chain your mind back down, therefore chaining you to the body where you cannot escape. Go check out the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Freedom from Space. Freedom from Space is all about blending thyself with the great essence and becoming formless, breaking the fetters that bind. You see all these connections?
Of course, by obvious means, because of sensory perception. And the fact that the senses themselves are of this world, they would say, well, that just reinforces connection to this false world, which, as I pointed out, they're saying is the world of a demiurgic God, the evil creator or self-creator. You can just call it nature. But whatever you want to call it, they're saying this hand is so rarely spread to bless. So such a sharp distinction finds itself even in the history of religion, although it is not apparent at first sight. The history of the Christianity reveals that there were the Gnostic Christians, who were the first Christians actually, and those Christians who refuted Gnosticism. So the later Christians came along after the story. Oh, it's just evil in it. God is all benevolent. The creator is all benevolent, all good. Man is just a problem and his social issues. That's why I also go into nature too. I like to start with nature in the animal kingdom, because a lot of people, we could talk about man and his transgressions, but I start with nature because by the time you get to man, you'll say, well, it's obvious because it's like Jean-Paul Sartre said.
Let's just get clear on one point here. Nature is not God. Nature is not God. People always tell me this out here in this new age psyop. Nature is not God. Nature is man's dominion, and man must join in partnership with nature to transcend nature. The earth is man's dominion. Okay? The earth is man's dominion. The only purpose of earth in this grand scheme is essentially to serve man in his spiritual evolution. Unfortunately, the Demiurge has entered, right? Chaining man's soul to the body, and man transgresses back towards the animal kingdom, not the God kingdom, right? Hermes also talks about this in the Corpus Hermeticum, that mortal man, right? Mortal man is apparently like closer to animals or something, is like than true man. The true man is that of the divine God man, right? And that is man's potential. That is the seed that is within him. But he must basically nurture that seed and basically crack the shells that contain the sparks and uplift the sparks, right? To free his soul essence from the fetters that bind. This is from Kabbalah. This is from the Emerald Tablets. This is from the Corpus Hermeticum. This is from the Buddhist text. This is from Gnosticism. Y'all putting it together yet?
I don't get surprised when I see men acting like base and brute, because just look at the animal kingdom. We're on the same world. It's just this premise that we're so different from the animals, but not at our basic root. We're not.
Alright, that's all I need in this video. Yeah, that's so damn raw. New Age deceptions out here. But this is true Buddhism, true Gnosticism, true ancient wisdom, my friends. Know the beast. The beast is the body. The body is the beast, and you cannot serve two masters. The entire goal here on earth is to transmute and transcend the fetters that bind thee, right? Do not walk with the brothers of darkness that slip through your dreams unseen. You must seek to become one with the light, become one with the sun state, become a son of man, truly a son of man. The sun is the symbol that rests at the end of thy path. Thoth. My friends, blend thy essence with the great essence around thee. This is done through breath work, energy work, through, moral perfection, or uprightness, as Buddha calls it, right? And this all frees thee from the many fractures within the soul. It actually, in fact, unifies the psyche and the soul as you step more towards righteousness, as you step more into uprightness, because uprightness is alignment, and alignment is that which allows spirit to flow through you. Be aligned with the truth of your nature, my friends. Be aligned with the God-man within. He who is within you is far greater than he who you see out here. Break the fetters that bind thee and unleash your soul spirit to the spaceborne inheritance in which you were endowed with, my friends. Man is spaceborne. Know ye of your inheritance. Dwell ever in the mind of God, in the kingdom of God, right? The kingdom of God being that of the kingdom of spirit. I am spirit. I am spiritus. I am breath. Blend thyself with the great essence and free thyself. This is the true teachings, my friends. This is the truth of the ancient knowledge. Ain't nobody else gonna be telling you this except a few scattered, obscure, niche channels out here that be spitting truth on a new level. And if you made it this far, my friends, you best believe we going to the next level. This is immortal truth, the truth that never dies, the truth that was, that is, and that will be. Align with that shit, and you will be blessed with immortality. Hell yeah. My friends, you want to support me, go check out my Patreon, PayPal donations. You know the whole spiel. Love all you guys. See you in the next world. Peace. Let me just wait for